Hello, Glendora Photo Club. This is Brian Mundy with the Digital Factory, and I want to show you a quick tip. Talked about this at our last meeting about being able to open up a raw file in Adobe Photoshop and maintain its integrity as a non-destructive raw file in the layers of Photoshop and where it is located to make those changes and do those settings. Here I am in Adobe Bridge and I'm looking at some photos. We're just going to open up this kind of shot here. This is on Highway, oh my goodness, 395, I believe, on the way to Death Valley. Not quite there, so we're going to click on that and we're going to go to where is it? View. We want to open it in. Oh my goodness, where's that app? Here we are. Open with. Apologize for that taking time. In Adobe Photoshop. And here we go, click. And what we're presented with is the Adobe raw file processing engine. We have here with all our familiar things. We can maybe adjust the shadows in this particular case, maybe open them up just a little bit here. There we go. That's kind of nice. Maybe increase contrast just a bit. Where is the wonderful clarity? We'll do a little something there. And we're going to brighten this up just a bit. And here is the important part. We've made these adjustments. We kind of put in our recipe for our raw file. Down here in the bottom center of the Adobe Camera Raw processing engine, it tells me that I'm in a ProPhoto RGB 16-bit, so many 22 megapixels, 300 ppi. If you click on this, it will open up a dialog box. In that dialog box is where you can make these settings. It defaults to Adobe RGB. Now, I'm not saying it's the worst, but it's not necessarily the best color space for you to be doing some of your edits in, especially if this is all about maintaining integrity and non-destructive. Also, it defaults to 8-bit. We don't want 8-bit, we want 16-bit. We want this millions of colors more, full gamut kind of going on. And the most important part of this is located in the bottom of this dialog box. Is this checkbox by default is not checked. Open in Photoshop as Smart Object. What that does is every time you import a raw image into Photoshop, it will maintain it as a smart object. Otherwise, when you go down and you go to open that image in Photoshop, if you hold your Shift key, that will also open it as a smart object. So I'm going to click on this and we're going to open it right into Photoshop. So here we are. This image is now in Adobe Photoshop. And as you can see right here in the Layers palette, there is that little icon that distinguishes that this is an Adobe Camera Raw file, or I shouldn't say Adobe, but a Camera Raw file. So if I double click on this, on that layer, it dumps me right back into my image raw processor. So let's go 1, 2, 3, fourth one over. Let's do something crazy and we're going to convert this to black and white. All right, we're going to play a little bit with a few of our settings we can do. Let's make a little more here. We're going to try to darken that sky down a little bit going on there. So hey, okay, I've made it a black and white image. Tell it okay. Boom, black and white image in this layer. I can do all kinds of other layers and adjustment layers to this. I can go to a layer adjustments. I can go into levels. Let's do curve, exposure, hue, saturation. I don't know. Where do I want to go with this? My gosh. Let's go into levels. So we're going to attach a adjustment layer in a non-destructive nature to my Camera Raw, and we're going to lighten it up or darken it up. Let's lighten it up just a little bit. There you go. So we're going to accept that. I just messed it up. I didn't do that. Here, don't crop. There we are. There we go. So there's our adjustment layer. But here's the beauty. I can work on this image. I could maybe do a little bit of vignetting, all kinds of stuff. But I can always go back to my original file, double click. I can even go back and I can uncheck and I can bring it back as a color image, tell it okay, redoes its processing, and there you go. This is the magic and beauty of maintaining a raw file in Photoshop so you continue to achieve a non-destructive workflow. Thanks a lot, guys. Sorry, maybe dribbled on a little bit here, but good luck. I hope this helps.